overview on slow parenting, I probably focus more on allowing the child to experience the world at a slower pace. Because when we talk about the disadvantages of
and the mother are valuable. So it's from that viewpoint now that I am going to make my comment. Parenting is a team event. It's not a 100-meter race. Hello, welcome, slow parenting family and fans and followers from across the globe. It's a pleasure to be here again with you today. Thank you so much for joining us on this special episode of the program. Well, every episode is special because we shall be discussing specific things that are peculiar for each episode. Welcome to this episode today of Slow Parenting on Nostalgia Media. And if you're joining us on YouTube, thank you. If you have a Zoom link and you are on the Zoom call, thank you. And if you're joining us also through Nostalgia Radio, thank you so much for listening in. Today, we are going to be looking at the issue of assurance in family bonding. And that's specifically about trust and confidence building in your children, okay? How to, assert assurance in engendering trust and confidence in your children, about your relationship with them, about what you think about them, about what you feel about them, okay? And also, in return, you'll get us to find out what they think about you or what they feel about you as well, okay? You're already in here. Invite your friends, invite your family members, invite your colleagues to join us. What to expect today on this program for today? There'll be some very insightful discussions and experiences sharing about issues in assurance. And I'm going to share with you again a very special letter that I hold there, written to me by my father several years ago. At the time, I had almost given up. And I would also get to be talking about why it's very important that you say the things that you need to say to your children to reassure them that you care about them, that you love them, that you appreciate the effort they are making on time. It's not everybody or every child that might be as lucky as I got to be, or every parent that might get to be as lucky as my parents were eventually, that I didn't take a left turn in disappointment and frustration for they're not voicing their appreciations vocally, vocalizing their appreciation of the efforts I was making. Okay, welcome again on this program, the Slow Parenting program. I'm usually not alone on program. I host it, yes. I'm your host, Richie Adewusi. I usually am joined by other resource persons as they come on board. As a common line, I would introduce them. But before they come online to be introduced and then to join us, we'll continue with what we are to expect from today. Assurance is just one word, but it's a very huge word, it's very big, and it plays a very important role in terms of self-esteem, confidence, and drive in anybody, in anyone, not just the children, but much more especially as it concerns your children in the environment of family bonding and parent-child communication relationship issues. I also need to inform you at this point that I was hesitating whether to share this or not. I will share it though. Um, we've had some feedback responses from some parents that don't live together in terms of how to communicate with their children as divorced parents or separated parents who maybe have turns in relating with the children from time to time. So I have written an ebook. Okay, I have written an ebook, and it will soon be in the stores. It's finished just for some finishing uh, uploading functions to complete checks and all of that. It's titled Effective Co-Parenting Strategies for Success. It's going to be available on Stan Store. If you're interested, you look at that. If you check in the comment section, eventually you see the link to that web store. Or you can also check my profile on LinkedIn. Yep, you can check my profile on LinkedIn. You'll find the link. You could also check my profile on TikTok. You find it there. And on this YouTube channel, you'll find the link to that store where you can get a copy of Effective Co-Parenting Strategies for Success. Okay, it's bound to be in the stores by Tuesday of this following week that we are going to be in, and that would be at that present. Today is the 19th, yes. So Tuesday would be like, let me just confirm that for you. Tuesday would be like, okay, yep. Tuesday will be like 25th. Okay, it will be available in the stores on the 25th of June. So welcome as you join us on this episode of the Slow Parenting Program to discuss assurance in a relationship with our children in regards to family bonding. We'll take a short break now. When we return, we'll continue. Thank you for joining us. All right, welcome back from that short break. Okay, today we are continuing with we're going to get started with our discussion on assurance. Assuring your children that you care about them, that you love them, you appreciate their efforts, their struggles, efforts, in whatever areas of human endeavor, be it academic or even sports or vocational endeavors. They need to hear you vocalize it. They need to hear you show appreciation. Don't just assume. Assumption is a very dangerous thing, if I might use the word dangerous thing, when it comes to parent-child communication. Don't assume that they should know you love them. Don't assume that they should know you care about them. Don't assume because, well, they have roof over their heads, they have clothes on their backs, they have food to eat, or they should know because you're doing all of those things that you must love them. They need to hear you say it. Besides, when you do that, when you vocalize your appreciation of the efforts of your children, you're also teaching them that that is the way to go. They're also teaching them to appreciate even your own efforts with them or about them, and also teaching them to also be able to show appreciation to and with other people around them, whether you're teachers or friends at school or their friends in their debating teams or football or whatever sports or vocational engagements that they find themselves in. So assurance in itself, okay, you can show assurance by non-verbal ways, okay, because eventually that's more like what I got to. Okay, well, but you should know I care about it. No, I don't. Okay, I have to hear you. Okay, at this point, I'm going to be welcoming Mrs. Bolua to Ayo Opalike. She is joining us. Bolu, you're welcome. Just say hello to our listeners, our viewers, our friends, our followers.
Hello, sir. Hello, everyone. It's good to be here.
Nice to have you here. Okay, but then we need to see that pretty face. Come on, because I have a couple of things to say to you on air. Okay. Yes. I'm jealous of all of those pictures of mommy, eh? So happy birthday to mommy. Happy birthday, big happy birthday to mommy. Okay, and daddy. All right. Bolu, you have disappeared. You have disappeared. We need to see you, okay? We need to see you. All right. Okay, it seems maybe Bolu is having some technical issues. Whenever you are done, you are okay, Bolu, you can always come back to let us hear you. Okay, so vocalizing your appreciation of your children's efforts encourages them. Okay, it builds self-esteem. Okay, and increases their drive to do more. They're proud of you, just like you're proud of them, and then you're feeling good inside of your belly. Oh, that's my son. You're telling your friends, maybe it's at a school meet or a debate or a prize giving day. They keep calling your son to come forward. He or she will just go forward, take the prize, come back to sit, and you're beaming with smiles inside of you. That is not enough. That is not enough. Okay, you need to, with each exit, with each approach to the podium to go collect that prize to come back, you need to, well done. I love you. I'm proud of you. It might not even be about going forward to pick up any prize, because every day is a prize. For our children, that child that has learned how to smoothen up his or her bed, that's a prize. I want a prize. Tell that child, I love you. You're doing great. Okay. On this program, we've had experiences shared by resource persons about encouragement, even non-verbal ones. But then verbal communication is still going on in particular other areas, and and thankfully Bolu is here. Okay, so I won't tell Bolu's story. I won't share Bolu. I won't steal Bolu's story about her relationship and her dad. But however, in all of this, we're saying building self-confidence in your children starts with you telling them that you appreciate what they're doing, showing them, how to do things maybe you don't think they have, that they're doing in the right way. Well, first of all, I used to have this colleague. We used to be on the same research team, and after some group work, it would be like, oh, okay, well done, this is great. However, so learn to do the however thing. I didn't say you must use a however. Put it in your own words, in your own way. Wow, this bed looks great. However, what's that little stain there? What's it doing there? Maybe you're just another way of saying, well, this bed sheet is stained. You need to change it. But then it's always better to say, I know you have more than one bed sheet. Can you change? It's nice you've made your bed, but can you also replace the bed sheet that's on there? Be specific, okay? Vocalize. Bolu, are you with us? Hello, Bolu.
Oh, yes, sir, I am. Okay, so I was in the mall at the time, and now I'm in transit, but I'm with you. That's why I did not turn on my camera.
That's cool. That's cool. Okay, that's all right. I said I was not going to steal your story about about your dad not telling you clean the window pane and then pick the but the message is clear because there's a bond. Because there's a knowing, there's a relationship. You know your dad. Your dad knows that you have seen, and then you could follow. But what I'm saying here is, in assurance, it's always best to vocalize, both the appreciation and the correction. Okay, the appreciation, what has been done well, and then the suggestions for what needs to be done to get things better. But different individuals with different styles. Okay, but as much as possible, it's always best to start with, well, your room looks your bed looks nice. However, okay. So can you take us down that however lane, in assurance, that however.
However, okay. I like that you have a clause for it, however, but my dad wouldn't even use however. He would just, it's, like what I just shared last week.
You
it was last week,
but then it's not necessarily everybody that, and that was a special program for fathers,
Okay, okay.
Oh, we're having some technical issues with Bolu because she's on transit. Bolu, are you with us? Okay. All right. So it seems we're having some technical issues with Bolu. So assurance itself is mutual. We need to understand this. Assurance is mutual. When you appreciate your children, they also learn to tell you, Dad, Mom, I love you. You don't say it, you assume it. They also are not sure of, they also feel awkward about telling you, Dad, Mom.
Maybe the cutting, and then he stands.
Yeah, okay. All right. At this point, again, we're just being joined now too by Dr. Oyewole Oyewole. I'm sorry.
I don't know what happened.
Dr. Oyewole Sarumi. I think it's technical. Don't worry, you're on the move. So that's
okay. So he would do that, and for me, that was just him communicating to me that, you know what, girl, your room is dirty. It needs a little cleaning if you don't mind. And it's funny because my mom, coincidentally, today is my mom's birthday. And so my mom would come into my room, and the moment she comes in, she's saying, in Yoruba, my dialect, now fine. Like, you're so beautiful, and yet your room is dirty. Like, what does that say about you? And then she will go on and on and on and on and on. And it's almost like I'm like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Literally entering one ear and leaping through the other. And then when she's done, she goes out. I just continue with even though I know that both of them are communicating the same thing, your room is dirty. But just that assurance of knowing that you are not, for my dad, I think I interpreted it as, I am not my error. I am not my mistake. That was just always what I got from him. From my mom, I felt so personally attacked each time. And, it's interesting that, thank God, I've grown now, I've evolved. So now I can appreciate the differences in both of them and their methods. Now I appreciate their methods truly, because I realized that it's the motive, the foundation of all of this is love. So whatever direction the correction comes from, or how it may not be as soothing and as beautiful as I think I want it to be, but I have to remember and remind myself that it's a love process, it's a love correction. And so yes, assurance is important, especially at a certain to find their way through the maze that life is. Yeah. Wow. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Bolu. Dr. Oyewole, thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to Slow Parenting. Today we've missed you in the last couple of episodes. You were on the road traveling. Welcome back. Okay, Dr. Oyewole, are you with us? Can you hear me? All right. So well, Dr. Oyewole will join us.
I can hear you.
Okay, sir. So you're welcome. We are looking at the whole issue of assurance. And I think we're at the point of saying that assurance itself is mutual. okay, needs to be, well, it's not that it needs to be mutual, it's mutual. If you don't vocalize it, if you don't give, you don't get, okay? If you don't let your children know the efforts they are making are appreciated, they may also not let you know that they appreciate the effort you're making concerning them. Are we correct about that, Dr. Yawali? Hello, Dr. Yawali.
Hello, yeah. Come again, please. You said assurance is
Assurance is mutual. Needs to be mutual. It
is
is mutual,
vice
not like,
versa, yeah.
yeah.
It's vice versa, yeah.
Yes. If you don't give, you don't get. Okay. So there's a need, both for the benefit of the children, when it concerns family bonding, well, family relationship, parental relationship, family bonding. If you don't give, you don't get. You don't tell your children, I love you, I appreciate your effort. They may also feel awkward about, being the ones. They can appreciate you and also assume that they appreciate you. So assumptions are out when it comes to the issue of assurance. You need to vocalize, your appreciation of your children's effort. And in doing so, they are also most likely going to tell you, Dad, Mom, I love you. I appreciate you. I can see all you are doing for me. I appreciate that. Are we correct about that, Dr. Yawali?
Of course, you are 100% correct. One thing I will say about this is that if, parents don't make the effort to give assurance to their children, the children will feel alienated. And if that child also, relate with others outside, they will start to make comparison. And that might not be, that might not go well for that home, because the child will be using, his or her reflection at home comparatively to what he or she is feeling concerning what she has seen outside. Let me give an example. Just of recent, I was discussing with someone, and the child was feeling withdrawn and also, cursing. When I say cursing, I don't mean that he was cursing, but the child was feeling so bad and depressed. And that child is a girl, and so another woman need to take her off and then ask her questions. And it was discovered that the girl wasn't having assurance from home, the father. And because she left home for 3 days to stay with some cousins and then relatives, in that home, everybody seems to be commending her. Everybody seems to be praising her because of the way she does things and work well. But she started comparing with her home. That her father doesn't commend, her father doesn't appreciate. It was the father that she was talking about. So if parents are not, cooperative, because this situation, the parents are not cooperative, because the girl was commending the mother, but like very annoyed and angry with the father. The father doesn't comment. The father is always finding fault and what have you. If care is not taken and that child is not well nurtured, and I'm talking of somebody around 16, 17 years old. If that child is not, if she's not well tamed, she's going to develop bitterness against her father. And that might lead to a lot of trauma and separation. When I say separation, in terms of, I'm talking about solical separation, not physical.
Yes.
Even though she might still be under the shelter of the parents, she might not really be in sync.
It might
with
just
the father.
become
So,
a kind of
yeah,
forced introvert.
yes.
It might become introvert.
Exactly. So that really, I can just bring that in so that we can have that
Yeah.
understanding about it. Assurance is very important. Both parents need to demonstrate it, both physically, spiritually, solically, emotionally, fiducially, administratively, and otherwise. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Yowale. Yeah, okay. Like it's been said, you know, most times because we feel parents. When I say we, I'm talking parents now. Incidentally, we at some point to some people's children, and these are experiences that we have had, things that we can, speak to ourselves as we grew up as children of our own parents. I shared on this program last episode that we dedicated to Father's Day about a letter my father wrote to me several years ago, and so these are not hearsays or things we're assuming or things we just read in books and then we are talking about them. As you listen, okay, as you listen and follow us, feel free, go to the comment section on YouTube. If you are following us on YouTube, you can leave your comment, you can leave your questions here, jump into the discussion. We expect this to be as interactive as possible. Be sure that when you make any comment, as you follow us, or you always get your response. Even if the comment doesn't come on while we're live, we would always follow us on our other social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, would always respond to you. Or you could just go to nostalgiamedia.net and go to the family tree page, and then leave us your comment or your questions or your queries. Okay, so now verbal assurance. Okay, we are emphasizing verbal assurance. Okay, as against the assumption of they know now, give them food, they live in a nice house. I mean, they go to a very good schools. Good as those are, okay, necessary as those are, you need to back this up with, like I said, the child comes home, you look at the tests results, or the child scored, well, maybe 6/10. It might not be what you wanted. Appreciate that effort. And then go into the however bit of it. Go into the however would include now to probe to find out what could have happened that made the child not to get the remaining 4 questions that would have, scored the child 10/10. Okay, that engagement needs to start with well done. Oh, great job. However, okay, going into, is this all you could score? What happened to the rest? You already dampening the child's spirit. Okay, you're not appreciating the effort. The child might give up. There are also some other situations where the child actually gets the 10 over 10, the 100%, the 90%, the A's, and you're happy. Comes first in the sporting engagement. You went to debate. The child wins the contest for the school, and you are there. You might actually be there in the hall. You might actually be the one that drove the child or the children to that event. You're happy. You're proud inside of you. Being proud of inside of you is not enough. It's not. You get to show it. Well, be silly for your children in showing appreciation about what they have done right. That could then form a basis for the ones that get away or the ones that got away. Okay, the ones that didn't get away needs to be upfront. Well done. You did so well. However, okay, again, Even when it comes to the issue of however, your children are not all the same. Okay? You must know that child for whom the however coming at the heel of well done would make sense for. You must also know that child that you have to leave that however till the next day or the next opportune time for that discussion to happen. Okay? So knowing your children, we'll come to that, we'll come to the issue of knowledge and keen interest about your children on a different program. But it's important that while we are talking about appreciation, assurance, know also that your children are not all the same. Okay? They are not. So Bolu just shared a while ago the difference between her mom's communicating to her that her room needed attention. Okay? The dad will come into that same room, would also communicate that the room needs attention in a different way. Okay? And for me, I would say that that's a perfect family, really. It's perfect. Both father and mother cannot, should not. There's a need to even deliberately play good cop, bad cop. Bolu, do you agree?
Oh, yes, I absolutely agree. I think it's important for balance. Yeah, it is. And then, what I would like to know, the family is the first unit of society. So it's like a model. Sometimes I wonder, I've worked with different kinds of people, various personality types. And I said to myself that if I did not have the kind of parents that I have, or the close-knit relations that would come and spend time, if I do not have that kind of model already for me of different people living together in harmony, despite our very huge differences, but it might have been difficult for me to deal properly with the bosses or with even acquaintances and colleagues all of my work life, because they're just a representation of different people I was going to meet in life. So yes, I absolutely agree with you that it's important for balance.
Yes, it's important to play good cop, bad cop, okay?
Bad cop.
And then, yeah, that's what it is. Even when it's not, like in your own case, I'm not sure it was deliberate. I'm not sure it was planned. It was just your mom doing her thing and your dad doing their thing. Those are just their personal. But in some cases, it might be necessary for parents to choose who to be that bad cop. Okay? It can also be interchangeably played. Okay, like Bolu has said, for balance. Okay, but then Dr. Sarumi, in terms of correcting or modeling corrections on the heels of appreciation. Okay, earlier on I said that our children are not all the same, would probably not appreciate or be able to absorb the same sequencing of, oh, well done, however, immediately. Okay, so in terms of corrections, the 4/10 score in a test or an examination, and let's also, Bolu, sorry, I'm not picking on you. Let's pick Bolu's mom now to say, okay, from what I get from that is that how come you scored 4%? Okay, but the dad will go like, wow, okay, this answer script is looking very smooth. You hardly wrote on it, and the teacher used red pen to write. It's not green. But you get the message, eh?
Absolutely do.
So, but both of them are saying the same thing in different way. Okay. Dr. Sarumi, for that child that would take offense, okay, that the parent knows will take offense, Bolo has already shared what she would do with her mom. She will not do anything after is dirty, okay. Now, what do we do with such children?
No, parents have both positive and negative influences.
I want to go and look for carrots. I don't want to just.
Can we mute
up.
ourselves, please, if we are not contributing? Thank you.
I'm saying that parents basically have both negative and positive influences on their children.
Yes.
And we have to be very careful. I think I read somewhere some time ago the kind of influences that parents have on their children. And it was in a book I read some time ago. And it listed quite a lot of influences. And one of the influences which I think is very important is the modeling.
Sorry, doctor. Sorry, doctor. Natalie, can you mute yourself, please? You are muted, and then we're having some sound fill time. Go ahead, doctor. Sorry about it.
Yeah, I'm saying that parents, they always have both positive and negative influences on their children, and that will fundamentally affect the way the children, grows and become. And I said that I was reading somewhere in a book some time ago, either a blog, sources of influences that parents still have. And I think they listed quite a lot of them there. And one that comes to my mind now is the modeling influence, which, where parents provide example for the children to follow, and how the parents also interact with their children. And that's quite important. So when we talk about, influencing and assuring our children about the way we feel towards them, we can say it, but we also need to, model it, act it, let them see it in our behavior, whether consciously or otherwise, so that they can develop that positivity in terms of, if I'm love at home, then to hell with anybody outside who says I'm not good. And so concerning the issue of mark that you were talking about, over 10 and what have you, well, I think it is our parents that were doing that. Most parents nowadays, I don't think they are using that colloquial method, that I'm the one who is coming first, whereas they were not the one coming first. You can't use a lie to build anything that is good. So parents need to be aware of that. You need to be very straightforward. If you are not sharp in class in those days, probably the gene is what your child has. Therefore, if you give them the necessary opportunity to learn, they will become better even than you. So that's why it's important for we to know our genetics makeup, the way we were. Our children will not always be like us, but we can create an environment for them where they can even become better for us, because there are quite a lot of opportunities today than we had when we were growing up. So that's what I will just add to that. I don't want to mention other influences which I saw as at that time. But another one that came into mind is the oversight influence, where we, as parents, we supervise their behavior and watch over them and ensure that they behave right. And I think safety is also part of that. That's why even the adolescents, you need to school them, you need to sit them down so that they can be able to do what is right. No, especially those ones who are already becoming sexually active. There is need to speak to them so that they can understand the limit and the boundary that they should go with opposite sex, so that they'll be able to protect their future. And that's one of the influences I think parents should talk about. So basically, that's what I will just add to that.
Okay. So thank you so very much, sir, for that contribution. We're going to take a short break now. When we come back, we will look into the issue of building self-confidence, because you actually, Dr. Wale, touched on something very, very, very important, because that child that you are not appreciating, you are not validating at home, okay, there might be somebody outside there who, claps, applauds at anything he or she does. especially your female children, okay? While you are always being critical at home and all of that, there that individual who was like, wow, you are the best and all of that. The bad news is that child would most likely do whatever to retain that person's validations. Yeah. When we come back, we'll continue with that. Thank you. Stay with us, please.
Yeah.
Thank you all for staying with us on our program, your program, Slow Parenting, program on Nostalgia Media. Yes, before we went on that short break, we were talking about the issue of building self-confidence when it comes to our relationship with our children, and then giving assurances that we care about them. Now, what is the opposite of that? What could be the downside of that? Okay, Dr. Yawale, in his contribution before we went on that short break, talked about zeroed in specifically on the girl child. It's not as if the male children are not are immune to anything. No, all of them are open to influences, positive, negative influences. So that child that you don't appreciate at home, that child that you don't tell, well done, oh, you did great, might just have somebody, okay? Because Dr. Yawale talked about sexual and reproductive health issues or challenges that could arise. Those are not the only challenges that young people, adolescents especially, can be faced with out there, okay? The child that's not appreciated by you, who has a friend, male or female, has a group, male or female, that appreciates him or her outside, would most likely, do anything to remain a member, a friend to that individual or those individuals with those groups outside there, okay? You should become the first peer pressure influencer of your children. No, I use that term peer pressure deliberately. So in your own case, it should be parental pressure, but not the pressure of you must get it right. No, we're talking about those same things that they would do and then get applauded, get appreciated by their friends out there, for which they will not want to offend their friends. You should, because they would not want to be exercised in those, relationships. We are saying apply the same strategies in your, bonding processes at home. Let the reason why your child will not get into any deviant, situations, behaviors, be that your child values your relationship, values your validation, your assurance, your appreciation, your applaud. That child shouldn't want to come back and, should be worried. I will tell you a short story here. As we were growing up, of course, these are things we experienced. So that my mom would like, "Oh, well done." So you're coming back from school, the result is not looking so great. And then school has closed since, so you are thinking of how you are going to get home and go and say there are 25 pupils in the class. And then what shows up on your result sheet is 24. While we are walking home, this was in a village setting, village, meaning forest, bush path, and all. As you are going home, there's this thing we used to do that time, eh? All the elephant grasses along the road, you'll be tying them up. You'll be tying the elephant grass up so that when you get home, your mother should forget to ask you about your. Is it like you get home, nobody forgets anything. And there are other versions of that whole scenario, even in modern day, even in our own children, there are other versions. Okay. So what we're saying is build that, safe haven at home, that regardless of what happens out there, when the children, Bolu, I saw the emoji, you are laughing about this. Okay. Did you tie elephant grasses? No, you can't have tied elephant grasses. Hello, Bolu.
Oh, no, I didn't. I'm hearing that for the first time. That's why I was giggling. That what's that? Never heard of it before.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's probably why. Dr. Yewale, did you tie elephant grasses? You grew up in the village now, yes?
Of course, now those are old something now.
Bolu, did you hear that? So I'm not alone. I'm not talking.
Bolu is
wow.
a
I'm hearing that
modern,
for the first
is a
time.
modern woman.
Oh my goodness.
Look, when you've done something and you know that when you get home there's going to be some story, you're going to be tying the grass and it's not just the tying the grass, you're also praying and saying some things my mama should forget.
No, you tie the grass so that your parents will not remember. That's way.
That's
the
idea.
idea.
They would not remember to ask you. And you also be saying that they should not
that's the
remember.
belief in those days now. So that's why I said Bolu is a modern woman. It's modern.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So
she was raised in a city, not a village.
If you are watching us, as you're following or watching us, we would like to know in the comments, do you know of any practices that are similar to those that, as you are growing up or your children are engaging to just make you forget? Whatever tricks, whatever tactics, that when people have not done the right things and just, but for us here on Slow Parenting, what we're saying is this: make your home.
It's usually a case of, okay.
Go ahead, Bolu.
Oh, okay. I was going to that. For me, it was usually maybe there was a task at hand, an assignment you were supposed to do, and then you will now not do it. You will now go ahead and do it and even perhaps overdo it, just to please them, to say, okay, I have erred in this one thing. My results were bad. So I'd better clean up the room, do dust everywhere, like do things that as you would normally not do. So obviously,
not have done normally. Yeah. That is, and then since your parents would already have known you, they would know you have done something.
Exactly, because by the time
you are muted, Bolu. You muted yourself again.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was going to say that. Yeah. So when you do that, you have actually made them know that you've done something wrong. So they will quietly, gently, calmly
investigate.
Exactly. What has happened? Because this is not what my child would normally do.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But you see, the beautiful thing is that that's a lively home. That's the ideal kind of home. You understand? The parent know that this child doesn't really normally behave this way. So for this child to be behaving this particular way, something is up. A conversation ensues. Okay? Eventually, that thing you are trying to hide. Because while we were tying the elephant grass, you know what was happening? We'll get home later than we usually would have. Okay? So when you now get home, the first thing you hear is, why are you just coming back now? All right? Already, did you fail? You've not said anything. You've not given, they've not asked you for the report, but they know that usually school has ended, all your friends have gotten home since. Okay? All your friends have gotten home since, everybody is jubilating and all of that. But you took time in getting home. So wash the plates in the kitchen, even wash the ones that were washed before. Even the ones that had already been washed, you wash them again. Then you go and ask your mom, do you have any unwashed clothes you want washed? And the woman will look at you and be like, come and sit down. What did you do? So my mom would always be like, okay, just come in, just come. You failed, Abby? Abby, or what happened? Why you just come? All your brothers, all your friends are coming since. So what you are trying not to happen eventually gets to happen. You can't prevent them. But as parents, what we're saying is make it possible for your children, for you to be your children's first point of reporting desk. When anything, positive, negative, good, bad happens, make the home environment, make your communication relationships such that they are free with you. They are open with you, to share with you, to cry, to, be themselves with you. You leave a gap, other things, other people would fill in those gaps. The results are usually not the best. When you leave gaps that are occupied by friends, by external influences, you leave gaps that the internet would occupy. Yes. The other, was it? I can't remember whether it was on this program or it was on Parenting for All Seasons on TikTok, that somebody was talking about internet motherhood. Okay? People who didn't have any relationship with their mothers, but then they have mothers on the internet. Okay? That, Bolu, you're familiar with that?
You mentioned it here.
Yes. They
You
have.
you mentioned it here, and I've even watched a film clip also, where a parental coach was also talking about that once you leave your children, that internet is going to murder them, and what he said, that word murder is spelled
M-U-R-D-E-R.
M-U-R-D-E-R,
Yes.
but it means two things: mother and murdering.
Yes.
So,
yes.
so that's
Indoctrinate and destroy.
yes. At the end, it's going to destroy them. So
yes. Yeah. So it's not what we're saying is, let's not leave any gaps. Okay. There should be no gaps in our communication relationship with our children. Make it possible for your children to, and that starts with assurance. It starts with your applauding what they might have done right. And then within what they might have done right, it might not be 100%. Okay? Then you have the opportunity, you have the impetus, you have the platform from which now begin to discuss the ones that might have gotten away, that are about to get away. Okay? Don't be on the critical, don't be on the offensive about criticism. Don't remain with, they should know I like them, I love them, they should know I appreciate them. No, we're saying vocalize, vocalize, vocalize. Okay, I was watching a video clip today about Samuel Eto'o. Samuel Eto'o is a footballer, it's a Cameroonian footballer. Was baking pancake with the daughter in the kitchen, and I was so thrilled. My French is not that excellent, but he was making the pancake himself, and the daughter was there saying, "Well, that is not that way." He said, "Don't worry, just watch, okay?" And instead of using the regular equipment, a flipping spoon to flip the pancake, he was still using something like a stick to just round the pancake before he would now use his hand inside a hot saucepan and then flip the pancake. And the daughter was laughing. Now, please, I mentioned him because, number one, first of all, at the moment, Samuel Eto'o is the president of the Cameroonian Football Federation. Okay? Now, in terms of being busy, in terms of fame, in terms of, but there he was. I wasn't interested in the pancake that was being, I was concerned and got really, really shocked by the conversation, the communication relationship between him and his daughter. But what brought it about? He was baking, he was cooking, making pancake. What do you make with your children? You go to buy pancake and give to them, or you have money to buy. Maybe Samuel too also has money to buy food. But once in a while, as a matter of fact, as often as possible, find that time. When we say create that bonding relationship at home to make your children make you their first point of report, it starts with things like that. Now, while that pancake was being made, please tell me what kind of other conversation couldn't happen there between that daughter and that father. Okay? So we are not talking about abstract things. We're talking about human relationship. Okay? It's what you build that grows, that will become visible. There are things you're also building, unfortunately. Yes, you are building them. They are not visible, but it doesn't mean that they are not there. Resentment, rejection, depression, low self-esteem. I'm not valued in this house. Nothing I do makes sense, so why do I have to go there? That same child that has low self-esteem at home, I repeat, will do anything out there with his or her friends to be accepted in their group, including drugs, yes, including involved in unprepared, unprotected sexual relationship, will lead to so many other. Remember, I said unprepared. It's not that your child went out and said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. But this is the one person that this child knows that appreciates her. Oh, you are such a wonderful person. Oh, you're a queen. You do, but at home, what does she hear? Is that how your friends do?
Hello?
I'm with you, sir. I paused because I saw.
No. I just want to add that you see, the issue of Eto you mentioned is basically that action is teaching the daughter a lot of things. Number one is that Eto is telling them that I'm trying to model confidence to you. Because when a parent's model confidence, your child should see you, tackle new things with optimism and a lot of determination. And that shows that the daughter will say, well, daddy doesn't know the kind of spoon to use, but then he's trying, and he said, just watch me.
Mm-hmm.
So that is modeling confidence. And he's also not telling them not to be upset about mistakes. That in life you are going to make mistakes, and that's important to learn in life. In fact, that builds confidence in people. So, and then he's also trying to encourage them to try new things. You might not excel at first, but then, please, what I'm doing now may be new to me. Yes, you can also excel if you try new things. And that, I can take a detour from that. When you encourage people to try new things by your action, you are also telling them to embrace imperfection. That you are not perfect, you are fallible, but then you are also a learner. Because once your children get that message, they will also, have that idea, and they know that if they keep trying, they will be successful. That perfection is not something that
it's not given. It's not given. Perfection is not given.
It's
a process.
They should embrace. Is part of humanity to be less than perfect.
Yes. Okay.
That's part of humanity.
All right.
It's quite And that in itself is setting them up for success in future, that opportunities, when they have opportunities in life, they'll be able to get involved with activities and then feel comfortable with things that they have not been comfortable with, and then be able to tackle bigger challenge, which might lead them to their destiny, something like that.
Thank you
so basically, that's what I'm going to add to that.
Thank you so much, Dr. Oyewole. And as we begin to round up today's episode of the Slow Parenting Program, yes, Ms. Ayo Kwaleke, what would be your thank you gift for viewers and listeners on today's episode as we leave, as we plan to close the program? Hello, Bolu.
Hello, sir. So I would just say that guaranteeing, you can't guarantee anything as a parent. You can only do your best, but at least do the best that you can whenever you can. And we've talked about this over and again about age appropriate messaging. So ensure that you are capturing. And it's funny that we say be expressive. For some people are just not expressive with words. Like not that they're not articulate, but that's not their strong point. My father, like I said, he does a lot of writing. I think I took after him. He will speak to you maybe once in a while, but he would rarely say I love you. Very, very rarely. But he would hug you, he would kiss you on the forehead. In fact, my friends at a point, they're like, are we English home? Whenever my friends come and they're feminine, he would take their hands like an Englishman and kiss their hands. I say, welcome. That was that is not what, that is the kind of father that I have. But it's, you expect that kind of person will be able to say, I love you, I love you, I love you, right? But he rarely says that, so he was always the action person. He would show it in his eyes, in his everything. He would say, I'm sorry, he would hold your hand. He would, like that. So, this is not to say that there's a way to do it or that there is one route to giving assurances. It's saying that lean into your strongest parts and still communicate. Communication is a broad thing. So whether verbally, through action, through cues, your tone, body language, those nuances that communication contain, ensure that you are expressing in one way or another to your child. And also I think I should say, for balance, they should also know that the fact that you're doing it doesn't mean that this is how the world is, because I think that was where I got it wrong. So because I got those assurances all the time from home, I almost thought that it was normal. I mean, I'm a queen, right? It's almost normal for me to want, everybody should be able to see me for the pearl, that I am, for the hair. And I wasn't seeing that. And so I began to yearn for it in wrong places. So they must also be able to help their children understand that this is a culture that we are building in our home, because we want you to be self-aware, to be present, to be, grow up to be intelligent children. And,
And the world out there is
the world out there does not owe you this same honor or respect or dignity that we give you. Yeah, especially at young ages.
Thank you so very much. That's so beautifully put. Dr. Oyewole, what would be your pattern comment on this episode of this program?
Yeah, like we've been saying, my take home will be this: allow your children to find their passion, give them that confidence to explore their interests. If you give them that space, it will build inner confidence and help them to also develop resilience, which eventually will result in a growth mindset, which we talk about. And then once they're able to capture that, they will have a sense of identity, which is one of the key guiding light to be self-confidence in life. Because once they see that they are growing in their talents, it is going to become a huge, boost to their self-esteem, and also, the ability to move on, even in spite of the herculean task that they may be facing. So that is very important, and I believe that we should continue to encourage that. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Dr. Iwole. Family, slow parenting family viewers, listeners, online on YouTube across the globe. That's it for us today. On this particular episode, you had us stated that assurance is a two-way street. You appreciate your children, they are most likely going to appreciate you. You tell them I love you, whether, like Bolu has said, whether verbally or non-verbally, whether through your words or through your actions, they're also going to reciprocate same. In that family, there will be very little that people will do to run them down outside, because they know that when they get home, their mom, their dad, their siblings, everyone appreciate them. They look forward for that appreciation at home. They would not have the need to feel validated by groups, individuals that at the end of the day might not be the best for everybody concerned. So your assurance, your validation is supportive for your children's self-confidence, self-esteem. Okay, you are helping them to know that they have value. Okay, you appreciate their value, even when the value could still be polished. Yes, but there's a value to be polished. Yes, there's a 10% or 10 marks to be won, 100% to be earned. You earn 4%. You get validated. You get told that you could still get the remaining 60%. You can do it. I can see it in you. It's there, okay? You're not just maybe paying attention or doing this right. That platform should be recognized. Those roughness of the diamond, and polished diamond in your children should be seen. You should state them. You should make them go for it from the inside. Don't push your children outside. Don't push your children to begin to go to look for validation outside. Don't make them more comfortable outside and on the inside. Okay? And I want to let you also know that you don't forget to send your comments, even when we are not live on YouTube. You could still leave your comments. You could follow us on Facebook. You could follow us, my handle on LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram. And then as you do those, you can be sure that we will reach you. We will reach you. We'll respond. We'll answer those queries. And like I said at the top of the program, I have a new book that will be on the bookshelf. It's an ebook. It will be on bookshelves from the 25th of June. It's a book I've written to help families who are challenged with the issue of not being together, either a separated home or in case of divorce. It's a book on co-parenting. Okay, it's called Effective Co-Parenting Strategies for Success. There are a lot of tips inside it. There are a lot of do it yourself, suggestions inside it to help you build, especially for the well-being of your children. Okay, thank you so much for being with us today. And as we look forward to having you join us same time next week. And when I say same time, it's 7 p.m. West African Nigeria time, and then 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, US and Canada. Till we meet again next week. Bye-bye. See ya.
Parenting is simplicity parenting.
Recording stopped.
Simplicity
We want to discourage a particular behavior, right? We want to deter that behavior from occurring in the future. And so we apply.
So we are talking about community. We also remember that your children want to be you. They're not talking about that person that's out.
Exceptions to every rule, and no matter the best or the most noble of mirroring that we do modeling, sometimes they veer off. I know that there are exceptions.
is focus on quality time rather than